Hey guys, it's your boy Captain Josh here over at Port of Pirates. I just wanted to make a quick video just briefly going over the problems that I have with Dead Man Tell No Tales and what Disney can do to save a sinking franchise. Now, it is entirely possible that this movie was the last Pirates of the Caribbean, and if that's the case, I'll just have to accept it and move on. However, Disney roughly doubled their money with this movie, and I see a strong possibility of it coming back. Now, I'm going to start off by saying that I was really super hyped for this movie, and when I saw it, my reaction was, meh. I was entertained for a couple hours, and it wasn't as bad as the fourth one, but it still wasn't great. What I love about the films, about the Pirates of the Caribbean films and the ride, is that they both create a universe that is really unique and interesting, and I love the feel of it. I love watching these movies and going on the ride, because I like to be teleported to that world and experience what that world has to offer, and what these characters live in. Now, what made the past movies, at least the first 1, 2, arguably 3 movies so great was that the characters that lived in this world were relatable. So here are a list of 5 improvements that the future Pirates of the Caribbean movies can take and try to learn from. Number 1 is the pacing. I think I'm not the only one who picked up on this, but the pacing was off in the Pirates of the Caribbean, the 5th movie, and even the ones before that, some of the pacing was off and kind of felt bloated. Now, when a movie is done well, every scene serves a purpose to further the plot along. I think part of the reason why the first movie is held in such high regards and why it doesn't feel as long as the other ones is that because every scene in that movie felt necessary. And Jack Sparrow was kind of reined in a little bit. You didn't really have him taking up a lot of space. And so kind of as the series went on, writers felt like they had to put more fan service or scenes in that furthered Jack Sparrow or his mythos or whatever. Now, don't get me wrong. I think fan service is important, and adding mythos is just as important. But in the last movie, there were scenes that came out of nowhere and served no real purpose. And the couple scenes I'm thinking of are the wedding scene and the one where Jack Sparrow gets his clothes. I don't really care about how Jack Sparrow got his clothes. Now, what they need to do is cut the fat out, and I think critics and audiences will be more receptive. So what they also need to do is they also need to respect the mythos. When I was watching Pirates 5, there was a number of times I saw something and just scratched my head. It was almost like the people who wrote the script had literally seen none of the other films, and they were just going onto IMDb and glancing at the story synopsis and then proceeding to write. There is so much that I could talk about in this section, and it could fill an entire video, such as Jack Sparrow already giving his compass to other people, the Davy Jones curse and the logistics of that, how Jack Sparrow actually got his compass. If writers aren't lining up their ducks in a row before they shoot, you're gonna get a really big mess. You're gonna get a lot of plot holes and loopholes in regards to events of prior films. Number 3 is the characters. One of the biggest problems that Pirates 5 had was the fact that the characters were just written so poorly. I don't really blame the actors who played the 2 new lead roles. The script they were given was a mile wide and about an inch deep. We never really got to know our characters very well, and we really didn't have a huge reason to stick with them and see them through the trials. Their romance felt forced and ultimately fell flat. Compare this to the first movie with Will and Elizabeth. Now, they have a history together, and in my opinion, their story is one of the best love stories ever to be put to screen. So, I mean, for the next movie, please write better characters. This one might be kind of controversial, but drop Jack Sparrow. That's gonna be number 4. Drop Jack Sparrow. Now, I never really thought I'd say this, but at this point, it is very necessary. Drop Jack Sparrow's character. You can only flog the same horse so many times until it dies, and that horse died about 2 movies ago. At this point, Jack Sparrow is holding the movies back with his antics, and is just annoying the audience more than anything. Jack Sparrow in the first film was great because he was fresh, and he was a unique take on pirates that we hadn't seen before. Jack Sparrow was the clever guy who swooped in and stole the show with his witty banter and actions. Now, please give him a break and move on. You have an awesome world and premise, and Disney doesn't need Jack Sparrow in order to have their movies to be successful. You don't need Jack Sparrow inside of Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean. this is going to go on to my last point, my fifth point, you might just need to reboot it. Now, again, I might get some flack for this one, but I think this might be overdue. Jack Sparrow, Barbossa, and the Turner family's story is done. I really hope they don't bring back Davy Jones in the next movie, like it was teased. Disney literally has an ocean of stories that they can create, and they don't have to involve these past characters. Pirates of the Caribbean had always been popular at the parks and never used to have Jack Sparrow. Create stories that involve older pirates like maybe Sir Francis Drake or, Bartholomew Roberts or, literally any of the pirates that roamed the Caribbean. Go back to the drawing board. Go back to the golden age of pirates in the not the 1960s. Go back to the golden age of piracy in the 1600s, or create a plot about how the Brethren Court came to be formed. Just please stop the continuation of the current story. It should be sailed off into the horizon. All right, guys, that was my 5 ways that Pirates of the Caribbean can be improved. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments below. This is Captain Josh signing off. Arr.